Hello, virtuous thought leaders, scholars, and virtue change agents. My name is Dr. Lisa Marie Portugal, and I am the Leadership Architect. I'd like to welcome you today to another talk that I have prepared for you and in service to you and your goals. This talk is called Management and Ethics, and it comes out of one of my many books, A Culture of Excellence: Virtuous Leadership Principles for Organizational Success, a Management System. And the cover slide there is also the cover of the book, The Four Cardinal Virtues: Prudence, Justice, Fortitude, and Temperance. We cannot achieve greatness or magnanimity unless and until we master the virtues within ourselves. Reaching greatness or magnanimity is about virtue building within ourselves, our families, communities, and others. We cannot achieve magnanimity until fortitude, self-control, counsel, justice, prudence, understanding, respect for others, temperance, humility, charity, piety, and courage are present first within us. We cannot give to others what we do not possess ourselves. So understanding how to master ourselves and build virtue is the first, ongoing, and last step required for magnanimity. And mastering the virtues is a lifelong and ongoing process throughout our entire lives. When we fall, pick yourself up and start the practice of virtue building again, and do this throughout your entire life. Magnanimity is an ongoing process and a focus we should have throughout our lives. It is also a focus we should have for working with, mentoring, and coaching others to their greatness. We can build virtue within ourselves and help others in our sphere of influence to achieve greatness in their own lives by teaching the virtues and living the virtues in everything we do. I'd like to invite you today to live virtuously. Table of contents: about Dr. Lisa Marie Portugal, management and ethics, business ethics and fundamental grounding, teaching business ethics, individual ethics versus business ethics, promoting, fostering, and promulgating a culture of excellence, and in conclusion, questions to ask yourself. So I, instead of putting a picture of myself there or of Miss Lucy Van Pelt, as I have in other slides that I've taught, other talks that I've had for you, I thought I would add this beautiful, just beautiful picture that a fantastic friend of mine that I've had for many years sent me this a couple of days ago. And you know how, like I said in the past, that all it takes is sometimes somebody just saying one word, one phrase, one sentence, one idea. Well, this was one picture, one graphic, right? I saw this a couple days ago and I said, oh my God, that is so gorgeous. I sent it out to friends of mine and I thought, what else can I do to, show this picture off? And I thought, well, here it is. I'm going to put it in this next talk that I have for you about ethics. And it also has inspired me to look for other beautiful Jesus pictures for you. So I hope you enjoy the graphics. Okay, management and ethics. Organizations and leaders can establish a culture of excellence by promoting a virtuous economy and a virtuous learning society. And as I mentioned in other talks, I coined those two phrases there, those two concepts, virtuous economy and virtuous leadership or learning society. I want to work and live in a virtuous economy and virtuous learning society. Don't you? 3 challenges exist in modern business that foster corruption, which include 1, the ends justify the means philosophy, 2, a myopic lack of concern for the future over long-term gains, and 3, an individualism, what's in it for me perspective, rather than what is best for the whole of society perspective. A virtuous economy can be represented by an innovative entrepreneur like you who creates something that benefits the improvement of lives and society. Contrary to this notion is the speculative entrepreneur who does not create anything, but rather parasites on the business marketplace, looking for opportunities to profit from and exploit. These types of predators transfer wealth rather than create wealth. A speculative entrepreneur mindset is opportunistic in nature, while an innovative entrepreneur, such as yourself, produces and provides services and goods to the community. Furthermore, these types of innovators are motivated by intrinsic values rather than profits first. Social and innovative entrepreneurs are in the business of wealth creation, striving for excellence, advancing the common good, healthy sustainability without intrusive overregulation, and a futuristic mindset. To advance a culture of excellence by promoting a virtuous economy and a virtuous learning society, organizations and leaders can promulgate these themes in concrete approaches that model, educate, reinforce, administrate, support, and advance these ideas for organizational success. And I hope as we go through this talk that you will notice that I am modeling for you and advancing ethics in everything that I do, and you will have the baton passed on to you to do the same in your workplace, your school place, your community, and society at large. Okay, let's move on to business ethics and fundamental grounding. An emphasis on moral identity centered on virtues highlights the significance of cultivating the moral character of leaders, which optimally can model for and influence followers. Researchers have suggested that focusing on virtues-centered moral identity training can ultimately lead to more promising ways in which to encourage moral and ethical behaviors and choices in the workplace. A proper foundation in ethics training can improve decision-making in leaders and followers. Furthermore, ethical decision-making helps organizations remain legally compliant with fewer legal challenges that can occur when employees make unethical choices. A proper grounding in business ethics can lead to right choices when making decisions in the workplace that can positively or negatively affect the well-being of the organization, leaders, and followers. Now let's talk about teaching business ethics. Isn't that a beautiful graphic? The development process for teaching moral virtues and ethics involves a habituation process. And if you've listened to some of my other talks, I mentioned creating habits in your life by doing something every day, even if it's something small, that's positive, that helps you, that builds virtue within yourself so that you can create that habituation process for yourself. For some individuals, this process can begin at childhood, where a person gains awareness of virtues and virtuous actions via explicit moral training from learning interactions that are informal as well as formal instruction from family members, teachers, community members, friends, and others. Individuals must continually practice virtue building over time so that the actions of virtue are habitual. Business ethics can be taught through carefully designed professional development programming incorporating the values, virtues, and moral actions and behaviors organizations desire to observe in leaders and followers. In pluralistic societies, nations, and organizations, individuals can have vastly different ideas about right actions and ethical behaviors. This can be a challenge in the business context for organizations in addition to those operating in a globalized economy. Yet, business ethics, right virtues, and right actions can be taught at any age and to any cultural group to foster well-being, cohesiveness, and moral character for organizational success. Making right ethical decisions is a form of practical reasoning, thus, a rationale for educating leaders and followers about the value of proper ethics, virtues, and morality for organizational effectiveness and legal compliance. So let's talk now about individual ethics versus business ethics. Organizations can develop proper ethical training programs for leaders and employees. This type of training can be developed with the mindset that creating and fostering a corporate culture of ethical leadership can have the ability to help individuals at all levels make the right decisions while preventing bad players from doing bad. A challenge exists in a pluralistic corporate culture or global business interactions with others, where individuals may have very different concepts of right actions, right virtues, and right ethics. Not all individuals and cultural groups value similar ethics and virtues. For example, some cultural groups may believe that might is right, while others may believe in honesty, integrity, and traditional Christian values. These two perspectives are opposed to each other, and when confronted in the workplace or when doing business with others in the global marketplace, significant challenges can occur. When individuals with vastly different ways of thinking and operating are confronted with differing value systems, a mismatch of right actions and choices can be evident and problematic. In addition, this mismatch can lead to significant problems both internally and externally for an organization. Thus, organizations should be cognizant of the value of aligning proper individual ethics with identified business ethics that are most highly valued in the corporate culture. Having clearly defined values and shared culture can be created across the organization through code of ethics, professional development training, collateral materials, marketing, branding, human resources onboarding, and any other company-wide activity that can foster important values. Now let's talk about individual ethics versus business ethics. Oh, I think that was the title of the last slide. Many unethical examples can be provided by business leaders who did not promulgate or emulate a culture of excellence in their personal or professional behaviors that are grounded in virtues-centered morality. A lack of ethics has led to many legal challenges over accounting violations, defective products, loss of human life, bribing, sexual harassment, and many other unethical grievances. When leaders and employees lack a strong sense of virtue-based ethics grounded in the cardinal virtues such as humanity, temperance, honesty, humility, charity, wisdom, piety, courage, self-control, respect for others, fortitude, understanding, counsel, prudence, and justice, many abuses that harm people, products, organizations, and societies can occur. Cultivating a moral identity grounded in the cardinal virtues and role modeling the virtues can encourage and build a salient normative culture. Furthermore, to promulgate a culture of excellence based upon the virtues, leadership and employee training, as well as performance evaluation rubrics, can be instrumental and organizational assets. And you should think about yourself as an organizational asset as well. And all of the ideas and themes and concepts that I bring up in this talk and any other talk, think of how you might be able to fit yourself in any area that may interest you, and bring your talent to the table using our traditional Christian values and virtues, and how might you innovate and create something new as an asset to your organization. So here is a question that you can ask yourself. What are your thoughts regarding a virtue-based training program for leaders and employees? And think of yourself as being that virtue-based trainer wherever you work or go to school. Okay, the next slide. I hope you're enjoying these graphics. They're so beautiful, aren't they? I just love stained glass. All right, promoting, fostering, and promulgating a culture of excellence. Don't you love that statement? I just love that statement. Promoting, fostering, and promulgating a culture of excellence based upon the cardinal virtues can be an overall initiative and agenda led by organizations desiring to raise standards in every area. Establishing a culture of excellence requires a leadership with high standards and a strong sense of virtue in self. Areas of influence can involve hiring the right people, properly training the right people, promoting and teaching traditional Christian values and the cardinal virtues, recognizing and rewarding individuals for virtuous behaviors and right actions, and emphasizing right actions via community building projects, conferences, presentations, and so on. Collectively, leaders and followers can actively pursue and habituate virtues-centered morality through guided behavioral activities and opportunities sponsored by the organization. Okay, so in conclusion, look at how beautiful those graphics are, right? I have the one in Poland. This is Christ the King. Jesus is King, right? He is our King. He is our leadership. He is our governance and government. And then, of course, in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, as you can see, it's on top of a very large hill or mountain there, looking over the entire town of Rio de Janeiro. Beautiful Rio de Janeiro, right? So I just thought I'd add all of those graphics for you. So let's take a look at some questions to ask yourself. What are your views regarding teaching others in the workplace about the positive impact that traditional Christian values and the cardinal virtues can have on behaviors and right actions in the workplace, even when employees may not be Christian? I left the last part of that sentence as the most important part. What are your views about teaching our values and virtues and the cardinal virtues in any environment that you happen to be in? And especially if people may not be Christian, right? So bringing our modeling to the table, teaching others about our Christian values. I think that's very important, and that's a question that you can ask yourself, whether you think it's an important thing to do, and then how you might do that yourself. And then the next question here, what makes Christian virtues and values different? That's a question that you can reflect on, right? What makes us different as Christians from other people and other cultures throughout the world? And if you feel that our difference is something that is important and should be promulgated, taught, and fostered, how might you do that, right? So thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed all of the graphics for you today. And we are going into the holiday season, so I want to wish you a happy Thanksgiving and a beautiful Merry Christmas to you and your family that's coming soon, right around the corner. And again, just to remind you, I thought it was a good idea to add our King, Jesus Christ, throughout this talk, so that we can remember why we are Christian and why we believe it's important to spread our ideas and our values to the rest of the world and people who we engage with on a daily basis. Jesus Christ is our King, our leader, our governance, and our government, right? Okay, so references, I cited myself. You can find my book, A Culture of Excellence, in Amazon, along with all of my other books, or on any of my websites. Thank you so much for allowing me this opportunity to create this presentation for you in honor of you and as a special gift for you today. Merry Christmas, Happy Thanksgiving. God bless you.